Today's recipe is this amazing Goan Chicken Jeerem. It goes amazingly well with some fresh and soft pav or even some steamed rice.
And welcome back to Akshata's Recipes. Well, today I'm going to be showing you a Goan traditional recipe. It's called Jereem Meerem. I'm going to be using chicken in my preparation, but you can make this with beef, you can make this with mutton. You can also try it out with some white pomfret. It tastes simply delicious and it's made with very few ingredients which we regularly use in our daily cooking. Now I'm going to show you how to make this Jereem Meerem powder or masala, which you can store in your refrigerator, and whenever you want to cook up this dish you just use it. So every time you don't need to make this powder base, you can just make it and store it in your refrigerator in a nice clean dry glass bottle. Now just as the name goes, Jereem Meerem, Jeera stands for jeera or cumin and Meerem stands for miri or pepper. So you use pepper and cumin and some few other spices and prepare this masala, and the end result is simply divine. Now I personally like to have it with some fresh pav. It also goes very well with chapati or puri, as well as with some lovely steamed rice. I will also leave a link in my description box as to how do I prepare rice, just like my grandmom used to do it. So I'll leave it down in the link below, and it's a very healthy way of preparing rice. So I'll leave a link, go and check it out. I have a load of other Goan recipes under my playlist Goan recipes. So if you go on my homepage and go to the playlist section and just search for Goan, you'll get a whole load of Goan recipes, and I will be uploading many more too. So I hope you liked today's recipe and I hope you give it a try. And let me know in the comments box below how you liked it. If you did, then don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Hit the red subscribe button that you see somewhere here down the screen and become a part of Akshata's Recipes family. And once you have subscribed, do click the bell so every time I put up a new video or a vlog, you'll get a message for the same. So let's head on to my kitchen and start making this amazing chicken Jereem Meerem.
So let's start by making this Jereem Meerem masala. Now remember, this is just enough for 250 grams of chicken. I will leave instructions for a little bigger batch which you can store in your refrigerator in a clean dry glass bottle. So this is just enough for today's recipe. That is the measurement of the spices. I'm going to be using 4 teaspoons of cumin powder or jeera powder, 3 teaspoons of black pepper powder, 1 teaspoon of clove powder. Now just roast these whole spices separately and just grind them in your mixer pot. 1/4 teaspoon of haldi powder or turmeric powder, and half a teaspoon of red chili powder. So just mix all of this together, and that is your spice powder or Jereem Meerem powder ready. Now these are the measurements for a little bigger batch, so you can make this and store it. It does have a long shelf life, about a month or 2 months, and you can use them for making fish Jereem Meerem or beef Jereem Meerem. Now let's go to the other ingredients that we're going to require for this. So I'm making it with the chicken. So I'm using 250 grams of boneless chicken breast, which I've just cut into small cubes. 2 medium-sized onions chopped roughly. 5 cloves of garlic and 1 inch of ginger crushed into a paste. 1 small tomato chopped. 2 light green chilies, which are the less spicy ones, slit and then cut into half. 1 medium-sized potato, peeled, chopped and just kept in some water so it doesn't get discolored. 1 tablespoon of tamarind soaked in half a cup of warm water. We're going to squeeze out the juice, and some salt to taste. And of course this amazing Jereem Meerem powder, which is so aromatic, and it gives such a beautiful flavor to the dish. So let's begin making this Jereem Meerem recipe. I'm going to start by heating 2 tablespoons of oil in my pot. Once my oil is hot, I'm going to be adding in my onion, and I'm going to be sauteing it till it gets nice and translucent. on a low to medium flame. You got to saute it well till the rawness of the onion goes away. Now we're going to add our ginger garlic paste that we have crushed up in a mortar and pestle. We want a little coarse paste, not a very fine paste. You can use a fine ready-made paste too, or I have a recipe for how to make ginger garlic paste at home. I'll leave a link below. You can use that. Now just add your slit green chilies. Now if you want it less spicy, you can keep it to 1 green chili because we are adding some red chili powder too. So either you alter the amount of chilies or you alter the amount of red chili powder. Now we're going to add the chopped up tomato. And now what is very important is fry all of this very well so that they get nice and cooked. So fry this for about a minute or so. Now this Jereem Meerem, once it's ready, it always tastes better on the next day somehow. And now once everything is well done, you can add your cubed chicken. And it's also very important to fry the chicken very well for a minute or so. Now you will come to know because the chicken turns from a pink color to a white and then a slightly brown, you get a little slightly brown tint. This is also very key that you fry it very well with this bagar. So like I was saying, it tastes always amazing the next day. I think with most of the Goan dishes, even sorak or, any kind of curry, always tastes better the next day once kept overnight in the refrigerator. Now we're going to add this Jereem Meerem powder that we've just prepared. Again, mix this in well and fry it in well. Now, I remember in the good old days when my grandmom used to make this, she used to actually grind, the green chilies and the ginger garlic and a few of the whole spices on the grinding stone. Sometimes I used to be delegated that job. And even that used to add a different flavor to this dish. But of course, in today's modern age, we need to, be quick and prepare things on an easier basis. So now I've just drained the water from the potatoes and I've added it to the chicken. Now, if you don't like potatoes in your curries, you can drop out the potatoes. I love potatoes in my curry. Even in my chicken curries, I love adding potatoes. I don't know, it just gives a different flavor to the recipe. And I think most Goan dishes, meat dishes, do call for potatoes in the recipe. Of course, if you're making this with fish, then please don't add potatoes. It will really taste very weird. So now you're going to add just 1 cup of water at room temperature. Just mix in everything very, very well. Now this water is going to cook our chicken as well as our potatoes. So now we're going to put a high flame to our pot and we're going to let it all come to a boil. That's very important that it boils on a high flame. And once it starts to boil, then we are going to simmer it. So it's very important that the entire pot starts boiling on a high flame. And then once it starts to boil, we're going to simmer or slow down the flame. And now it's time to add some seasoning. So we're going to add salt to taste. I've added about 3/4 of a teaspoon. It's always better to add less salt first and then, taste it later and find that if you find the salt is less, then add the salt later. And now we're just going to squeeze out the tamarind pulp and just use the juice that we've squeezed out and add that to our recipe. We're going to stir in the salt and the tamarind juice well in the dish. When I was making this Jereem Meerem, my entire home was smelling so amazing, and it just reminded me of my grandmom's home. And then just cover this and cook it on a very, very low flame for about 10 to 15 minutes, stirring in between, checking in between. You can add a little more water if you find that it's drying up. And after waiting patiently, just cut up some soft, fresh pao and just pour this amazing Jereem Meerem in a bowl. Doesn't it look really delicious? You have to make this to actually relish the deliciousness of it, the aroma of it, and it's really, really a different kind of dish. It reminds me of a kind of a stew, although it's not exactly a stew, but it just goes, I think, best with pao. The pao just soaks in all the deliciousness and goodness of this Jereem Meerem. So the beef Jereem Meerem tastes different, the fish tastes different, so you can try it out and let me know in the comments box below how your Jereem Meerem turned out. You can also pour it on some lovely hot steamed rice, and it tastes amazing. And the potatoes also just taste divine with all of these spices.